Now, welcome to the show, everybody. Today we are joined by a good friend of mine. You know him from SNY. You know him from New York Post online content. You know him from WFAN. He does 2020 updates. He does Straight Out of Flushing. We're not going to touch the Mets. We've already done the Mets off air, so you don't got to deal with that. He does Liberty lately. He does New York Got Game. In fact, we were talking about how busy I am. I mean, you're just as busy. And now, did I see online that you're doing a Jaspers play-by-play, Manhattan Jaspers?
Yeah, I've been doing some play-by-play this year. There's some soccer from Manhattan. I'm doing some basketball of the season opener on Tuesday. So I've been doing some play-by-play, which I love. I love doing that a lot now. So that's been fun, man. That's been a lot of fun. It's been challenging me. It's kind of new. It's kind of one of my new loves in broadcasting.
Yeah. And you were doing with soccer and stuff, and I'm guessing the basketball is what you thrive at.
I love soccer too. That's my second favorite sport, but basketball is that's my love. That's my absolute passion and love. I love basketball.
Yeah, so here you go, fella. Here you go, people. You got the two busiest men in New York.
Yes,
Kenny Albert. Kenny Albert's got nothing on us.
Shout out to Kenny Albert.
Love Kenny Albert. Love Kenny Albert.
A lot of hours and a lot of
yeah. He's got to fly all over the place. We get to at least drive and take public transportation.
I want to fly too sometimes, Kenny.
Yeah, I believe it. But we're here. We're going to talk some Knicks. We haven't really delved into the Knicks too much on this show with the World Series and everything going on. But first, before we get into the Knicks, I wanted to get your thoughts on the gambling thing that went down. And the FBI went, and right off the bat, they waited till the first day of the season was over. They had a great Wembanyama had a great game, and then bam, Cash Patel's at the podium telling them how the games are fixed and stuff. What are your thoughts on that? Is it something that could, because it's a league's worst nightmare?
Yeah, what's funny, Bob? You said about it being the league's worst nightmare, and there's been some people I've heard who've have downplayed it a little bit too much. I take this really seriously. Somebody who loves basketball, loves the NBA, I take it seriously. You listen, for all of us who love sports, you do not want anything where there can be a thought about the game or sport being compromised, right?
Absolutely not.
I don't want to. I've been trying to go about this without speculating too much. I will say this is what I'm going to say. A couple things that I think everybody understands as facts. When and you made a great point about when the FBI decided to present this. Okay.
Yeah. After day one. I mean, that wasn't on accident.
No, that was not on accident. That was a flex. Okay. They're like, hey, you had a great opening night. We're going to let you know what's going down. Right. I think that this just feels like it. Again, it's not reporting by me. It feels like it's part of something bigger. The feds do not come to lose. At some point I make all the time. When they're presenting like stuff, that means they have stuff that they think is going to stick. These are allegations right now. These are just indictments. These are not right. Nobody's been charged. Nobody's officially guilty. But I will say this again. The feds generally do not come to lose.
No, Diddy's a 1 in a million.
Now, and with Diddy, I think they overplayed their hand a little bit on some of these.
They got a little greedy. They did. They got a little greedy.
Right. But they got him on enough stuff, right? Not to get all in the Diddy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They got a little greedy on Diddy. In this one, this seems like something they might be slow playing. Now, here's what I find interesting about all of this. It's wildly fascinating to me. Chauncey Billups is the most interesting part of this to me.
Yeah, like what are you doing? I mean, fixing poker games, high-end poker games with the mob. You got X-ray cameras under the table. Like what are you doing?
According to what he's been charged with, they're saying that he knew and possibly passed on information. There's also the tie-ins with this.
About the injuries and stuff, right?
About the injuries and stuff like this. If he was used as just a face for these poker games, I'm just going to stick on these poker games for a second before I go to that. If he was used as just a face, and you get it, like here's the biggest question I know. How did you get involved with the mob?
Yeah. Did you owe?
Yes.
Is the question. Did you owe?
That's what I want to know. Because listen, all I'm saying is this. I've never dealt with organized crime. I may or may not have known some people around some things in organized crime. I'm just saying, getting into that world, how does that hook up?
Those poker games are dangerous. They're ripe to get robbed. People come in. They know it's not like a real big secret that these poker games go on when they go on because they need people to come. So they're dangerous.
The word you just used there, Bob, is robbed. That's exactly what these poker games were. They were getting people for their money. They were rigged, and they were getting people for their money. How much did Chauncey Billups know? According to these indictments, it's saying like he knew some stuff, like he knew what was going on. It wasn't like they just said, "Hey, we're paying you, come here, be a face," because they want to attract people who say, "I want to play with Chauncey Billups." If he knew about the stuff that was going on, if he knew about the X-ray machines, all that, and was complicit in that, that's a problem.
Yeah, he knew. But even just the games are illegal because the house is taking a cut. And I saw a thing about where there was like a professional poker player just on a random podcast like a year ago. And he was talking about he got invited to a Chauncey Billups game. And he's like, nah, I'm not going. I knew it wasn't on the level. And he said his buddy who called him and told him about it said, no, I know for a fact it's on the level. And he goes, I've been to these games. He goes, there's a bunch of, he goes, because the host asked him, how do you know it's not on the level? And he goes, because there's a bunch of pros, professional poker players there, and they're the only ones losing. And people that don't know what they're doing are winning, and you can see that they're throwing down crazy blinds, and they're just getting lucky all over the place. Like, that doesn't happen. These guys are pros. And they go there, and they lose all their money. He had to know it. He had to know what's going on. I think he might have gotten, maybe he was a junkie gambler, and he got, a debt. But he's got a lot of money. Like, what do you do? He's a Hall of Famer. And he's an NBA active head coach.
It's shocking because everybody you talk about with Trump, you talk to about Chauncey Billups is known as a good guy. He's a Hall of Famer, and I thought he deserved to go in the Hall of Fame for what he did with the Pistons.
Yeah, of course.
And was turning around this Portland team. They played really well at the end of last season. That's my biggest question with Chauncey Billups is how did you get involved in this? And I think that's a question a lot of people want to know. Now, the Terry Rozier stuff, when the NBA was investigating him last year, they found nothing. Now, a lot of people are going to look at the NBA and say, Bob, well, did the NBA know? Did they sweep this under the rug?
They don't have the power the FBI does.
Right. And I think that's the thing. I think that's where people got to pump the brakes on that.
Because you can't prove via the NBA if he was faking the injury. That's hard to do.
How are you going to do that? Now, they don't have the subpoena power that the FBI has, right? They can't tap, get into your phone, look at all your phone records, your text messages, all the other stuff. The NBA can only investigate so far. They can follow you, they can watch some stuff, but that's about it, right? So I don't think the NBA knew and swept this under the rug. I think they did everything in their power to do this. But to get it back to this point, it's not a good look.
No,
and
the gambling with Rozier, no, it's not a good look at all. And it could, you know what it does too? It also makes, like, we all have that friend that sits there and talks about the NFL script and this and that, of course there was 1 second left when Rodgers threw the ball in overtime against the Cowboys because it's scripted and we all got that, and this gives him a little credence because now what are you gonna say when he brings this up? Of course the NBA is scripted. Look at this, but what it is to me it's something that I think you had to see this coming with the prop bets because it doesn't change the game. They got him in baseball. They got the guys in baseball last year because it doesn't change the game if I just say, hey, listen, I'm going to throw a ball on the first pitch of the third inning. Put some money down on it. You can't lose. I'm going to throw it high and outside. Right? And that was bound to happen. And I think what it is we just have to look at it as kind of a new reality that every couple of years, there's going to be some kind of scandal coming out because it's too easy of a money. Now, what the players are too dumb to realize is that it's blatantly obvious when they're doing it because not many people, there's not thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars going on the first pitch, ball or strike of the third inning or over under on some random stat. It's just not there. There's not, and then all of a sudden $20,000 comes in an hour before the game, and it turns out it's the guy's friends from high school.
Right, and the books are like looking at that action. It's gonna raise a red flag. This is what happened with Jontay Porter. This is where he got too greedy. I think some of these guys. I'm not condoning this. I want to be very clear. I think they probably could get away with this, but the information they give to how many people, they get too greedy. We didn't even mention. We didn't even mention Bob, Jontay Porter last year, Michael Beasley earlier this summer, and his situation is still not resolved. In terms of he's been cleared by the league, but again,
they don't have the power to tap his phones, and I hear him talking to his buddies about it and stuff like that. So where there's smoke, there's fire.
And sometimes you got to remember, especially Adam Silver, former lawyer and all this stuff in the NBA, Michael Beasley has still not been picked up by any team. That tells me a lot. They know that there's too much smoke when the feds are in on this. So they probably told teams like, chill. Don't.
Yeah, and these players are idiots. Like when they're doing and I've seen. I dismissed them when I first saw it, and you've probably seen them. They're clips on there are reels on TikTok or Instagram or something where it's a meeting, like the game's over. It's a 15-point lead. There's 10 seconds left. The guy's coming down, and you see the two players on the bench. They're like, oh, they're so into it. and the guy shoots a 3, which would have been over or under, which would have changed the over under, and they're going crazy. They're like, oh my God, he hit it. And it's a 15-point game. It's irrelevant. And you could see, and then the people pick this out, and they're like, boo, look at that. These two have money on the game. And I was like, no, that's just it. And then now this comes out, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, they did have money on that. Look at that. Why else would you react like that?
Unless you're just happy for some end of the bench guy hitting it. But all this stuff is fair and in question now, Bob, because like you said, this is the world we're in. But I think if we're going to have a real conversation about this, not you and I, but I just mean sports society in general, I think we have to realize that, like, look, gambling is pervasive in all sports. We watch all these games. The leagues have taken money from these sports houses, betting houses. I was not somebody that was against legalization of gambling. I was not. What I am against is gambling without proper regulation in place. And gambling can ruin some people's lives with very addictive personalities. I think in this country, you should not be able to put bets at a sports book on your credit card. We should not do that. They've stopped that in England.
Do they let you do that?
Yeah, you can here. You can put on a credit card here in the States. In England, they got rid of that. And I love it because if you care about a society, you don't want people to ruin their credit.
That'll just raise the bookies back up, though, because the bookies will never go away because they give credit. That's why the bookies will never go away. Like, you know, somebody can go to the bookie and be like, I want to put 50 grand on the Knicks tonight. And they don't need to give them the 50 grand. Like you might get beat up. You might get killed because of it. But you can put the bet on it. And if you're a junkie like that, you're going to make the bet. I can't go to FanDuel unless I have the money or the credit cards or whatever.
The credit card to do it.
You know, and it's ridiculous. It really is. And it's sad. It sucks because it's basically like, and it's so ridiculous. It's like Mike Greenberg on ESPN is reporting this story, and they're flipping to one of those in-show 15-second commercials, and it's a FanDuel commercial.
ESPN
and like, what are you doing? Like, come on. And like, they realize it and they turn it up, but come on.
Take it down. But like nobody thought about that before. None of the producers thought about this before.
Yeah, and they knew this was going to happen. It's the money. They don't care. They didn't care.
Even, I mean, sheesh. It has. I'm trying to think if it's really affected me because I don't think it has. But even, I mean, a lot of places you work in sports media now, you're taking money from these sports book and these betting houses. You know,
commercials. Your companies selling ads to them in somewhere.
Yeah,
of course.
So it's like, it's hard even when media to talk bad about it because it's funding a lot of media. It funds a lot of podcasts that we listen to.
Yeah, ton of podcasts. They're all half of them about that, about gambling, the lines, and this, and fantasy.
So it's all there. Listen, gambling for the person who doesn't have addictive personality can be fine and harmless. You know, you look at it as entertainment, right? Mm-hmm. But what we have now, what's different about it being legalized, and I'm going to compare this to like drugs. It's like having some crack or cocaine.
Yeah,
you have it in your pocket all the time. It's right here. Any access. I want to put a bet on the game.
Yeah, you're right.
I could do it.
And you can bet every pitch, every point in tennis.
You got to look at it like drugs. You have to.
Yeah, it is.
You have to. Like, to me, there's no other way to look at it. And it's the proximity to it. And then what you're mentioning, the other part that you're mentioning is you then have these sports books that are constantly like saying, it's like they got the cocaine. They're like, yo, I got a hit right here.
Yeah.
I got a hit right here.
Come on over.
I mean? It's like they're constantly, we'll give you perks. You take this hit. We'll bring you to the guard. We'll bring you here.
Yeah.
All that stuff that they're selling around it, it's not. Look, and I understand this might be unpopular to say, and I can say this because where I'm working right now isn't currently taking any money from sports books, but it's not healthy, man.
No,
like we can say this, it's not healthy. It's like it's not healthy for those people that have addictive personalities, and addiction is a disease, and it's not healthy for the society.
No, it's too late. It's too late now. It's too late. They ruined it. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
Wild West is
because they remember Adam Silver went out there the next day and was like, "Well, listen, we're going to talk to them about these prop bets." And FanDuel's just like, laughing. Yeah, right. Good luck. We're not taking these prop bets out. What are you, serious? And like there were some that could be manipulated. I remember 2 years ago at the Super Bowl, there was a guy standing outside the day on Friday listening to the national anthem because he wanted to bet the over/under on the time on the national anthem. Like, come on, what are we doing, people? The time on the national anthem, like let's rein it in a little bit. We used to watch sports because we love sports. We used to love sports because we love everything.
Everything.
And I think it's funny. I laugh on the like the reels and stuff. There's one where it's two kids and they got 100. They each put $100 on the table and they're on the phone and the phone's ringing and it says betting whether the gambling addiction hotline will pick up on over under 2.5 rings.
The irony of that.
And
The
it's
irony of betting
hilarious,
on
but
it.
it's true. It's true. It's
Right.
true, and it's funny. But anyway, so with the Knicks now, listen, I was telling you before the show, I was laughing because you were saying you said something on one of your shows or on online or something about how 4 games in, the Knicks won the first 2. Now they've had a 2-game losing streak, and then the fans are pitchforks and they're looking. Where's Thibodeau? Maybe we made a mistake here, and it's just another overreaction by the fans. What do you got with the Knicks? Do you high expectations this year?
Yeah, look, this is the most anticipated Knicks season coming into it in 30 years.
You think so?
There's no doubt about that. But people got to relax. They got to relax. It is 4 games. This was going to be a process. I like the process of what they're doing. I like what Mike Brown is trying to do with this offense. Like, I like the way it is the foundation of what they're trying to build. It probably won't look really good till, like, let's say we get to December, which is when I like to judge a team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Christmas. For me, the NBA season really starts Christmas.
Yeah, and I'm a NBA junkie, so I watch all the games,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I don't really, I won't know a sense of this Knicks team. Talk to me 21 games from now, right? Talk to me 25 games in. Let me see how they are. This is going to be a process. I think the problem, Bob, is, and you probably heard me say this, and I was saying this on the New York Got Game live watch show we did the other day. Everybody thinks, oh, I'm going to bring this coach in. We have these pieces in. That's it. Everything's going to be clicking. That's not how sports works.
Don't do it, people. I did it with the Mets for a while, and it's not healthy. When you start living and dying with every game, and it's not healthy, it'll drive you crazy.
That too. But it's like the instant gratification. It doesn't. It's not just flicking a switch. The Knicks have some things I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about stuff with Mitchell Robinson. I'm concerned about Josh Hart and his finger. I think he might need to go get surgery and shut it down and then come back when he's ready to play. I think that might be the best course of action because you don't want him to hurt him team. Josh Hart to play, you need high energy and everything that he brings. You need that for the playoffs. If they're going to be without Josh Hart for 2 to 3 months and he can get the surgery, I think it's worth you do that. Right?
And Mitchell Robinson, we haven't seen yet.
Which is crazy.
They were talking load management on opening night. I'm like, what are we doing?
Load management. He played
what are we doing?
Games. We didn't see him, and then we're talking load management.
Like, did we play too much in the preseason?
I don't know what's going on with that. Nobody knows. There's been some theories, and my colleague Stephen Bondi said one in that sometimes he could be injured. This is speculation here.
He is, right? Isn't it the ankle or something?
They've now said it's the ankle, but it's still saying ankle load management. They have not specified what exactly if it's an injury. They have not said that.
Today, though, they got good news. They put good news out. Says he's full practice. He could be back soon. So they're all over the place with it. You're right. They're not being straight with it. That's something to worry about.
They're not, and so I'm a little worried about that. I think it's good news that he's back there fully practicing. They have said that, so we'll see. I mean, still, what does that mean? I don't know the timetable for his return. Maybe we see him second week in November. I have no idea. Look, am I worried about the Knicks? No. I think the process of what they're trying to do offensively is fine. Guys, they've had good shots. Guys haven't hit shots. Cat's been struggling. Cat is a concern for me.
Yeah, the 8 points the other night. Come on.
8 points in the stupid fouls.
It's always stupid fouls. He always has stupid fouls. He always has 2 stupid fouls in the first quarter, and then he gets it gets in his head, and he gets wrapped up in foul trouble. That's something that he's had problem with the last year too, and that was a problem in the playoffs.
Yeah, it was, and he had good moments in the postseason and some bad moments in the postseason. And Cat, I think what people want is more consistency and not these brain farts on defense. That's the thing. I think this is an adjustment for him too in this offense. Somebody told me they think he doesn't like Mike Brown.
I'm sure they talked to him about it before they made the hire, right? Him and Brunson. I'm sure they at least mentioned it. I mean, you're not going to have some guy that you hate.
I don't think so. Listen, change is hard, Bob. For everything in life, and I think this is the thing we don't do with sports. Like, these are jobs, and if you get a new boss at your job, you have to make an adjustment to that boss and how you do whatever you have to do. There's going to be an adjustment. Some of it may be hard. Some of it might be a little difficult. Doesn't mean it can't be done. It's part of the process. Can we give the Knicks 25 games? I mean, the fans don't react to 4 games. Tom Thibodeau, they shouldn't have made the change.
Well, I don't think I like Thibodeau. I was against them getting. I thought, how could you fire this guy? I mean, he's getting you the furthest you've been in 30 years. He's not a bad coach, and people. And how do you know that that's the top that he can get to? I mean, come on. I thought he got a raw deal. I thought he got a raw deal.
It's a risk. I do think sometimes to get to where you want to go, you got to take risks. I do think they needed to evolve more offensively And I do think that's what they're banking on with Mike Brown to do it. Now, will it work? I have no idea. I don't know. I couldn't tell you definitively it can work. I didn't mind them taking.
If you can, if you can, let me know and we'll gamble on it.
See, look at you. You're out here feeding the junkies, Bob. You're out here feeding them. I don't know, but I think you have to just nobody wants to do this. Everybody wants instant gratification. Just watch the process. Because I said this on the thing. The Knicks could win the next 10 games in a row. And they could be 12-2 after 14 games. And everybody will be giddy out of their mind. And you know what? It doesn't mean anything if they do that. Because this team is going to be judged on the process and how they look in April, May, and June. That's what it's exactly. Be about.
Well, that's the thing, though. The Knicks fans, they might not be used to this because it's not about making the playoffs anymore. It's not about winning a round or two. Now it's business, right? Now is it really championship or bust this year? I know last year, because last year,
I think at least finals or bust.
You were telling me, you were lecturing me about how, hey, listen, slow down with this. It's their first time together. We need a year, get it together, and I was like, okay, okay. But now you think now it's time. Now it's if they don't win the title, because the East is relatively open, right? You got the injuries, Boston.
I've said finals or bust.
Finals or bust, I think is better because the West is better.
Because I think they can get to the finals. I could see them losing. I think the Knicks are going to go to the finals this year. I do. I think they're the balanced. I think they're the best. I think they will be the best team in the East. I don't think it's going to look as smooth as people like. I don't think they're going to win 60 games. I think they'll win about 55, 56 games. I think they're going to be a really good team. They might even get the 1 seed. And I don't think it matters. I think it matters. Yeah. What matters is, are they healthy in April? Are they playing their best basketball in April? Are they connected and are they together in April?
And the injuries, you can't. They're somewhat deep, but they can't afford like Brunson the other night goes down, right? He helped off the court, and we're all like, oh my god, there it goes, it's over. It's not even Halloween yet, and it's over. But you
gotta have some luck, Bob.
You gotta have luck. You're right. You're absolutely right.
It's hard to win a championship, and that's where, let's say, I'm not wishing this, but let's say there was a significant injury, Bob. Fans are gonna say last year the Knicks had great luck in terms of health. Fantastic. OG played the most games he had played in years. Mikal Bridges never gets hurt. Who's been the most consistent Knick thus far this year. Yeah. Brunson was pretty good. Outside of him missing, he missed 17 games. I think it was from March to early April. Then he came back for the last 5.
Yeah, he was okay though. He was okay before the playoffs started.
Cat was relatively healthy for the most part. So most of their starters were healthy. It's just Mitch only played 17 games. Mitch has played 17 of the last 86 Knicks regular season games.
Yeah, and you need him because your 2 best players don't play defense, right? Your 2 best players are liabilities on defense, and that's just the way it is. That's not going to get any better. They can work with the footwork and everything. They were with Thibodeau for a while. He's as good as it gets teaching defense like that. Your 2 best players stink on defense is the bottom line. So you need Mitchell Robinson there to anchor the back when they do come right around, Cat and Brunson. But and to him being an injury-prone guy is one thing. But you say luck. The year before, they got unlucky, right? Going into Game 7, everybody gets hurt.
Yep.
So it's luck.
You never know. You have to have luck it's about when the injuries happen. This is also why I made my point about Josh Hart, where if he isn't healthy and the fingers really bother him with the shooting, getting surgery now could be an option. I don't think that's on the table yet. I do think he's been talked to about that.
Yeah, you think so? I haven't heard anything about him getting surgery. Good, because that would be big, and he's great on the boards so far.
He's great on the boards, but if it's going to impact the shooting, that's going to affect the team, and that's where I'm a little concerned. So it's like, can you go get right? Again, I think a surgery like that would have him out, I think, about 2 months or so. But if
it doesn't matter. That's not a big deal.
No, you want him right for the playoffs. Can you get him back and right for the playoffs? I said at the beginning of the year, and I talked to Stephen Bondi about this, I think it was on Media Day, and I was like, when Josh Hart told us about re-aggravating the injury, I said, hey, is there a world in which he plays for 5 or 6 weeks, sees how it is, and then maybe he shuts it down, says, okay, December, January, I'm going to be out, get the surgery. I think he's going to look at everything. I knew he would try to play through it, and I commend him for that. But if it's hurting the team, I think it's something you have to look at. And I'm sure the Knicks will be looking at what's best for them long term.
Yeah, they need to. Sometimes these players need to be protected from themselves, right? Sometimes they just need to be told, hey, listen, you need to get this surgery. You'll be fine by the time these games really count.
Yeah. And guys want to play. The guys are always, athletes are always going to want to play. The But sometimes the teams have to protect the guys from themselves. You're right about that.
And one thing I do like about Mike Brown is because last year it was a big thing. Like Thibodeau doesn't, he basically plays the starters forever, right? If you're starter, you're gonna play. That's it. You might go 1 or 2 deep in the bench, and that's it. And then he was forced to go deep in that bench, and we found that, and we found guys like Landry Shamet, DeLon Wright, and this year, even right off the bat, first game he goes 11 deep, which we never saw that.
I loved it.
And I like that. I do like that because I think these guys are NBA players and they can play, right? They can play. That's where we found Jeremy Lin all that time ago and stuff like you find people like that way. We found Landry Shamet last year. Nobody knew. And if they tell you they knew he was going to play like that, they're lying to you. So that's a good thing. And you can find these guys are good players. They're on the team for a reason. And to just have them sitting there for 3-4 months. I mean, Landry Shamet, give him all credit, and DeLon Wright. Coming out, they hadn't played in literally like 3 months. They played like 3 minutes, and to come out and play like they did, that's hats off to them. Totally, and I like that. I do like that he goes deep in the bench, and they play well. Now, do you think with the East wide open, with Boston basically, a rebuilding type of thing with the injuries and everything, do you think the Knicks have enough to get to? You said go to the finals, but are they going to need it to add a piece? Let's say no injuries going into the trade deadline. Do you go after? Do you try and add a big piece? Because a lot of people still say, is Brunson the guy that can win a title?
I don't think they don't really have the moves. If there's any moves they're going to make at the deadline, it's not going to be big. It's going to be small. Now, here's something I would keep my eye on. You're going to have to keep your eye on this Mitch situation.
Yeah.
If Mitch is not able to play, and they look at the big, they want to play Cat more at the 4 to protect him. And Ariel Hukporty's getting thrown in. He's getting minutes. And you mentioned about the depth, and you're seeing Tyler Kolek get some minutes, and he's been all right as a backup point guard. I think that's good for these young guys.
He's a Big East guy too, right? Isn't he Marquette?
Marquette guy, yep.
Okay.
If they feel like he doesn't have, if not Kolek, but Hukporty and Trey Jemison is their next backup there, if they don't feel like they have enough as a big and Mitchell Robinson is not able to play, they could move that expiring salary and maybe try to go get themselves another serviceable big. I could see something like that. As far as getting another big piece, I don't see it happening. The Knicks just don't have enough assets. Their depth, obviously, is going to be the talk for Giannis that'll come about, especially I think if they don't win this year. That'll be the move. But I don't think you'll see a big piece this year. I think most of this team you'll see is what they have. But it wouldn't shock me if they said, okay, we look at this team after 25, 30 games. We've barely seen Mitchell Robinson. It won't, because the Knicks are not talking extension with him right now. He wants an extension. It does not help he's not started the season playing.
Yeah, no.
We all know how good Mitchell Robinson is when he's healthy and on the court. We saw it last year in the playoffs. We know the value of his team. He keeps possessions alive. He's an elite defender. He's probably the second best offensive rebounder in the league behind Steven Adams. We know all this. But what's the best ability, Bob?
Availability.
That's right.
But do you think it's a little bit like he's a big, what is he? 7 foot tall, right?
Yep.
These 7 foot guys, their legs go, their knees go, their ankles go. It just happens. It's hard. Is it kind of like when Stoudemire was obviously a better player, but kind of like that, like he's just kind of falling, his body's failing him maybe?
It might be, but that's to that point. This is why it's tough to invest in a guy like that, right? Or get to you get to the point where I'm talking about, which is you get to the trade deadline, you're going to have to ask yourself a serious question, which is, can I count on this guy to be there when I need him?
Because you need him there. You need somebody behind there. You need a big guy guarding that rim.
I agree. I love Mitch Robinson's talent. I just want him to stay healthy. And he knows it's a big year for him too, because he's trying to get paid.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't show that he's on the court this year, he's not going to get paid, whether it's by the Knicks or somebody else. So I don't think there's a big move, Bob, but I think keep your eye on the big man situation if they need to go get another center. That's something I would keep my eye on.
Is the guy who benefits the most from the new system and the Mike Brown system, Mikal Bridges?
Yes, absolutely.
And it's shown so far.
It's shown so far. I think Mikal Bridges is a player who thrives off of everybody moving. He did not, I think, like the stagnation. I think he prefers to move. He's running the floor well. He's getting to the corners, him and OG. I like what's happening with both those guys. Mikal Bridges also is doing some good secondary playmaking that is helping. He's had a 6 assist game, a 7 assist game this season. He just looks confident more. So some of this is just like people killed him last year and he did not play well. was the one to say he was not playing well.
But when I looked, he met his numbers. He hit his numbers. He hit his career numbers that he always hits. I think we were expecting too much from him.
Some people I think expected him to be Brooklyn Nets early Mikal Bridges, which he never was going to be on this team. And I even had somebody tell me, I think Mikal Bridges can average 21, 22 points on this team. I said, that's not going to happen. Can he average 18 or 19? Yeah, maybe he can get that high. But what I think is the key for him is he efficient? The biggest thing for him, people gonna look at the shooting. He's getting to the line this year. He's not fading away when he goes. Last year he'd go to the basket.
You're right.
He's fading away. He didn't want any contact. This year I see him. He's attacking. He's getting and ones. He's going aggressively. He's playing aggressive. He's playing like the defensive player we knew he could be. He's a fantastic defensive player on the ball. We saw it in the playoffs. I think people don't give enough credit to when guys have changed the scenery. I know he stayed in New York. He's going from Brooklyn to the Knicks. But it's just getting comfortable with your team, with your organization. All that stuff, it takes a little bit of time. He looks comfortable to me now. And I think he's also, to your point, he's comfortable in the system under this coach. I think the system, what Mike Brown's trying to do is take a lot of what he learned in Golden State, applying it here. People forget Mike Brown's a good defensive coach. That was where he got his chops. He's a good defensive coach. Now he's applying what he's learned in offense. And this is how the modern NBA is. You got to read and react. You can't be predictable. This is what he doesn't want the guys to be. And I think the Knicks are going to be less predictable. If the Knicks are less predictable at the end of this regular season than they were in the playoffs, you're like, I know what they're going to do. They're going to ISO Brunson.
Yeah. Pass it to Brunson and dribble and then go to the hoop. That was their offense.
Bob, you can't win four series like that. You can't win 16 games in the playoffs like that, right?
No.
You got to have some diversity in the offense and be unpredictable. And I think this is what Mike Brown is trying to get them to do. And this is why it's going to take a little bit. So, again, the offense might not be humming the way it is this week. And we might, 1st of January, you might have me back on. You're like, Dex, this Knicks offense looks good. Yeah, because it takes time. You know what I mean? And I believe in what Mike Brown's doing. I like what I see. The shots just aren't falling. But they're getting in the paint. They're spraying it out. They're getting great looks. The shots will fall. And I think Deuce McBride being out the last couple games and help him coming back will be huge as well, too. They got to get some guys back. Yabusele coming back. He's dealing with a little bit.
We got the Cup starting soon, right? The Cup. You're a big Cup guy.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. I like the Cup more than some other people. So, yeah, NBA Cup. Bob, if Bob knows if the Knicks win the NBA Cup, Bob is going to be I
give him a hard time. Because I can. I was like, come on. I play that one. If some reason it always pops up in my phone somewhere, I'm going, do you really care if the Knicks win the NBA Cup? And you're like, I do. And I'm like, and I'm always laughing. I'm always laughing about it.
I care a little bit. Like, I enjoy
it's something better than Game 5, right? It's something to look at Game 5, Game 6.
Yeah, that's why I look at it. It's like that. You know, and I've said it before. I'm a big soccer fan.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing it is.
Yeah, they have these other competitions. I just watched my team, Liverpool, the other day. They lost in the Carabao Cup. They don't care about it. They play a lot of their younger players in it. And I think you'll see some teams do that too. Like, younger teams, not really the Knicks are. I don't think the Knicks are going to take the Cup as seriously as like the Magic might. Or
the Nets. Maybe the Nets go on a run in the Cup. You never know. Nets might not win a game for another month or two.
They might not. It could get real bad there.
Now, I mentioned Stoudemire earlier. Did you hear the thing he said that was going viral? Do you think he was taking a shot at Carmelo Anthony? What did you think about that?
What was his exact comments? I missed that.
He basically said, like, we were playing real good that first year I was there, and we were rolling. I was an all-star. We had everything together, and then Melo came in, and he kind of insinuated that he disrupted the flow, and that he became the soul of the offense, because those two guys couldn't coexist. They're two guys that just need the ball, and it wasn't going to happen. And he kind of was blaming, I guess, the Carmelo for the Knicks kind of stumbling and then not having the offensive output that he thought they could have had without him. But you needed Carmelo. Who's Carmelo going to do? Pass it to Jeffries? Yeah. Like, come on.
Yeah, I think I listened to that and I don't hear him taking as much a shot as Carmelo as he is talking about what happens when you trade. They were rolling. Knicks were playing great basketball, if you remember that at the time.
Yeah.
But they gave up a lot of pieces to get one guy. And that's the thing. They had the chemistry going. I mean, I thought the Knicks as a franchise where they made a mistake is, and Carmelo too. Personally, I think if Carmelo thought about it from a team building standpoint, he might do it over again. And it's that Carmelo, you could have just waited till free agency and came to the Knicks in the summer. The Knicks had the cap space. You could have waited. You didn't have to trade all the assets. The Knicks could have still had depth and fit in Carmelo. And I think that, because then I thought you could have then traded some other pieces and put some better support around Carmelo and Ray Felton and Amari Stoudemire. I think the mistake was in the Knicks panicking, but Carmelo was also trying to leverage that and saying, okay, if you don't do it, I'm going to go to the Nets and sign a 5-year deal with them.
Yeah,
Carmelo could have. He didn't think it through.
No, and Stoudemire was a ticking time bomb anyway with his knees. Like his body, bro. And I love Stoudemire for the fact that he was the first guy to come. Right? He was the guy who said that the Knicks couldn't get anybody. They were dysfunction, garbage team. Nobody would come here. They had just lost the decision, right, with LeBron, where he wasn't coming here anyway. And now he said he was a big star, and he said, I'm coming to the Knicks. And I think that kind of got the ball rolling a little. Now, it still took 10 years for them to get out of the doldrums of the bottom of the barrel. But he did it, and you could look back to that decision by Stoudemire as kind of the start of it.
Yeah, no, and he deserves a lot of credit for that. He deserves a ton of credit for that and what he did in 2010 coming to the Knicks, and he was the first person to do it. And that Knicks team was fun from the time he came. Him and Felton were balling that year. It was really fun. You wish you could have seen it work a lot better with him and Carmelo, but some of that was his health. Some of that was, as I mentioned, the depth of the team got gutted in that Carmelo trade. I just think from a team building standpoint, the Knicks could have been more patient, and Carmelo also could have been patient. I think it would have worked for both sides. Carmelo he wouldn't be able to get that extra year he had on the extension, if I remember correctly. But
yeah,
he would have. Carmelo, you're going to make the money anyway. I get it. I never fault athletes for taking the money because what they do at a high level is so short. So I get it, but I think for a team building standpoint, and again, if he had thought about it a little bit more, he's been like, look, I could have. The Knicks would have been fine.
Yeah, but the dumpster fire was in the front office of the Knicks, right? So they were going to screw it up either way.
It's funny. It's funny you say that because I think sometimes Knicks fans right now do not appreciate how good this regime has been.
Oh, they've been fantastic. Everything right.
Making the deals that they've made. And I don't care how you feel about it. Maybe you don't love the Cat deal. Maybe you think they shouldn't have gave up 5 picks from Mikal Bridges. I mean, I think
they're lottery tickets. So you don't know what the picks.
Right. You don't know what those picks are. I mean, the Nets have 5 picks this year, and nobody knows.
Yeah, they got nobody.
Right.
The Nets and those Knicks teams. That's right now with those Knicks teams that we're talking about.
Pick huggers and prospect huggers sometimes to me is just like, it's fine. I like how the Knicks have built this team. I think they've had an identity and vision. They got 2 really good wings who are fantastic complementary players. Yes, their best offensive players are the worst defensive players, as you said earlier. You're 100% right about
that's a problem, but it's Mitchell Robinson, you can fix that.
There's ways to clean it up, and I think Mike Brown chose that with the double big lineup in which he wanted to go to. But again, that goes back to my point. You need Mitchell Robinson on the floor. But look, that era of Knick basketball we talking about with Amari Stoudemire and all that was a good starting point. I would have loved to see what that team could have been built with some better, competent front office leadership. I think that could.
We had Phil Jackson. How much better can you get? Phil Jackson, right? He came along right around that time, and like even he was a dumpster fire. It was just that's when you thought it was never gonna happen, right? You weren't gonna see it. It was like the Jets. If you're a Jets fan, as a Knicks fan in those days, that's how you know Jets fans feel forever.
Yes,
like it's never gonna happen. We can't do anything right. Yeah. Never gonna happen. Aaron Rodgers down on the first day. You know, what I mean,
they couldn't do anything right until I hate to say, they got competent people in here that had an actual plan. And the first plan was, we're going to strip this down. Knicks fans really got to think like this. We're talking 8 years ago about how bad it was at the rock bottom of this.
Yeah.
And they stripped it down. And look, they've made good trades. They've had good development. I don't think the Knicks front office gets enough credit for that. They've had good development. They've had some good draft picks. They haven't all been lottery picks or stars, but they've had the Emmanuel Quickleys, the Quentin Grimes, the Mitchell Robinsons, the Deuce McBrides. These are guys who have been good players and contributed to winning teams. And then they were able to flip those for some other guys. You know, Emmanuel Quickly and RJ Barrett being as good as they were.
Yeah, and I like
allowed
RJ
you
Barrett.
to get an OG. Yeah, but allowed you to get an OG.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that trade when they made it, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
You gotta. I like what this front office has done. this is why I'm like, I don't want to be all Sixers here, but trust the process, man. Just trust
Yeah.
the process.
More likely to happen. Knicks in the finals, St. John's in the Final Four.
Knicks in the finals.
I think I agree with you. I think you. I think because you can get picked off at any point in that tournament if you're St. John's.
Right. I'm going to bet on the Knicks being able to win 3 series and have 4 out of 7 games in each one of those. Then St. John's, they just go cold one day and they get knocked off in the tournament. Now, St. John's, I think, is going to be really good. I'll be at the opener on Monday. I'm intrigued to see them in person. I think they're at least a Sweet 16 team, but you never know when
you never know. You get picked off by picked off by Manhattan Jaspers, right?
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Those little tournaments, those little leagues, they got some good players because they got guys that play together for 4 years, and you get these flash in the pan guys who go to the NBA after like a year or two. When you have a team can beat, and especially not in the series, but in one game, a team can beat. And then, lastly, who you got? Jays in 6, Jays in 7, Dodgers in 7.
This is gonna people not be. I'm not rooting for this.
You're picking the Dodgers, aren't you?
Dodgers in 7.
Hey, I told you before we went on. I said the Jays had to come back up. They needed 2 bites at the apple. And
I think we're going 7.
I hope so.
I hope so too. What's better than Game 7 for the World Series?
Nothing.
Game 7 for everything. Game 7 NBA Finals, Stanley Cup Finals. Love it. I'm gonna say Dodgers, but I'm rooting for the Jays
because the Dodgers are better. And that kid last night, hell of a job by Yusevich.
Oh, tremendous!
That's an all-time performance.
All-time great pitching performance.
Yeah,
and we've seen some all-time great performances through this postseason.
What about Scherzer that one night? I mean, that pissed me off because I was sitting in the upper deck a couple years ago. He's giving up 7-0. That just kind of pissed me off watching that thing. I'm like, ah. Like, where the hell was that? He's giving the bulldog, the mad dog. Like, come on.
That's
where the hell was that?
the pain for the Mets fans sometimes.
Yeah, right? Hey, listen. At least I'm a Giants fan. A lot of Mets fans. Most Mets fans are Jets fans. It's a rough life. I
used to live that life. So
what?
I got out of half teams? Of that life. Yeah, I got off the Jets.
You're off the Jets. Yeah, it's probably a smart move. It's probably a smart move for your health. You know, it really is.
For my health. That's what. See, I'm glad.
Because what a nightmare.
Sometimes I tell people, they're like, "You can't do that." I'm like, "Well, I did." And it's good for my health. The Jets,
it's forever. It's 50 years of this. And they get all-time greats in there. Like the most Jet thing I've ever seen was Rodgers going down in the first play, the third play of the season.
Here's the thing, this goes back to when I had already stopped rooting for the Jets then. But when I was a Jets fan, I remember the best season for me when I was rooting for the Jets was '98. Parcells, Vinny Testaverde, the whole thing. And what happened the next year in the first game? Vinny Testaverde tears his Achilles, right? Now, I don't know if you knew this detail, and I found this out, and I was like, this is the most Jet stuff ever. On the night that Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles, they had Vinny Testaverde as the honorary captain out for the coin toss. I would not have brought Vinny Testaverde anywhere near the first game of the season for my team.
Yeah, no.
I'm not even the most superstitious guy, but
there's a million of those most Jets moments. I mean, look, they tell Rodgers to get lost, and he's going to go to the playoffs with the Steelers. I mean, and it's adequate. It really is. It's a million of them, and that's the worst. The Jets really their fans I'll be like, I'm sorry. Like I have a lot of Jets fans. The friend, host of this show, my co-host of this show. Sometimes I say, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. It sucks. It really does.
Make it up.
You can't make it up. And I know you were able to get out. Most people can't get out. Most people can't get out. I can't get out I can't get out of one of these teams. Like I can't get out of the Mets.
As people ask me this all the time, they're like, "Well, why did you leave the Jets?" Because I've never seen the Jets win. Growing up as a fan, I never saw the Mets win. I was 3 years old when the Mets won.
Me too. Same thing. I was too young.
I've never seen the Knicks win. These are all the teams I grew up rooting for.
You never seen anything?
No.
Yeah, okay.
The Rangers in '94. So
that's my team, and that's my team forever. That's my favorite team forever. The Rangers in '94.
But the teams I love the most, I haven't seen. I mean, outside, I'm a big soccer fan. I've seen Liverpool win a couple of EPL titles. It's been great. But people always say to me, "Well, why'd you leave the Jets?" Here's the thing. This is what I tell people. For me, with the Jets, it's come down to one thing: how in all the years that I was rooting for the Jets, they never had a franchise quarterback. How is that possible? Not one. Not one. Not one. And the management has been the problem for me with the Jets to me is ownership and management. We could talk about the Knicks. The Knicks had 2 decades of dysfunction. There's no doubt about that.
But they were good in the 90s. They were good. They were a contender every year. Or the 90s, early 90s.
90s, yeah.
They just ran into Jordan.
Yeah. And the Knicks and the Knicks fans love those teams.
Oh,
the Mets in the 80s. I'm a Mets fan. My grandmother was a Mets fan. She loved Doc and Darryl. I saw those guys. I love the colors.
Last year, I loved last year's team. My favorite team as an adult. Last year's Mets. 2 years ago, I should say now.
Mets. I love the 06 Mets. I love the 2015 Mets. The Mets have given me runs. The Mets, and again,
that you can appreciate.
The Mets have never had sustained success. That's the one thing the Mets fan wants. The Mets fan would kill for, even if they had 1 championship and 9 out of 10 years they made the playoffs, a Mets fan would sign for that tomorrow. Okay? But the Jets now have the longest playoff drought in North American sports.
Yeah, it's not and it's a disaster. So it's just a disaster now, and they just can never get it right. And like even like the Cowboys, people make fun of them, but they've been a while and stuff. But they're okay. Like they have a franchise quarterback. Yeah, they're not going to win anything until Jerry Jones is in the ground because he's not a football guy and he just wants his hands all over it and he wants to do it. And that's just what it is. I agree.
Well, listen, if you're a Jets fan, you would take Dak Prescott in a
heartbeat.
In a heartbeat. Dak Prescott is not a perfect quarterback. He's probably like borderline top 10. But hey, the guy is a franchise quarterback. Franchise might be strong.
He's not negative 15 yards. He's not negative 15 yards in any games.
He's a starting level quarterback.
Yes, of course.
Right? And so explain to me how Justin Fields looked competent with the Steelers last year and now looks like he's skittish. Yeah. He's got the yips. I can't explain it other than it's the Jets, and I had to get off that narcotic. I just had to leave.
So you just cold turkey. Quit. No meetings or nothing. There's not a meeting.
No meetings. I wish them well.
My name's Dexter. I'm a Jets fan. I'm a recovering Jets fan.
I'm a recovering Jets fan. Not going back.
And for another, just to rub it in a little bit, the Giants getting a franchise quarterback out of nowhere.
I mean,
he looks like it. He looks the part. He looks
good. He's got moxie and toughness. I thought they put him in a little too early.
I don't like how they put him in. I would have
would have liked to see him sit a little bit more behind Russ, but
Russ was that bad. Russ was that bad.
He was that bad. Once Russ hit the goalpost when he had the 4th and 1, that wasn't a good look. I thought Russ might want to stay a little longer. I'm sure his wife Sierra wanted to stay in New York a little longer, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Hey, listen, no, it's all right. He'll be all right. Listen,
Jackson Dart, I just want to see him with some receivers. If he gets neighbors back and he gets some receivers, I think he could be all right.
And don't run around so much. Learn to slide because you're gonna get these guys. These are big guys, the big boys on the defense in the NFL. You can't take hits like that like you can in college. You will get hurt. Scatterboo, I mean, forget it. He may never be the same again. And I love Scatterboo, and I loved him on Arizona State in that bowl game. I thought that was one of the greatest things ever.
He runs like a madman, but you
can't do it. It's unsustainable.
Yeah, I know. He runs, and I mean that lovingly. I'm not calling.
Yeah, they're too big. They're too big. He is crazy, but that's what we love about him because you don't do that when you're that big. He is crazy. But he's a football player. He's a football player.
You got to be crazy to play football, right?
Yeah, you got to be crazy. Because they're going to end up with our age and think they're a glass of orange juice looking out the window.
Right. Like when you think about it, you got to be a little crazy to just play the sport of football.
Oh, yeah.
I think some of people don't realize how fast and strong these guys are. If you've ever been, I tell people all the time, when you get to an NFL game, if you can get close to the sideline and watch, like anywhere, if you get in the front row, you will understand how fast, quick, and hard these guys are.
Same goes with the NBA. You don't realize how tall these guys are because they're all standing with each other. You see an NBA guy 7 foot, you don't know what 7 feet is. Like 7 feet is like they're ducking to get into doorways.
You got to watch how fast and athletic. If you watch the game at different levels, you watch I'll be at a St. John's game on Monday, and I'll be at a Manhattan game on Tuesday, and then I'll be at a Knicks game on Wednesday. And I'm telling you, the difference in speed in the game, you can just see.
And the NBA, they don't miss shots. They don't miss shit. They basically if you get it, if they get an open shot, they make it.
It's the best of the best.
Yeah.
And this is in every league. We're watching the best of the best. The best of the best baseball players, hockey players, football players. It's another level. When you see the differences in the level, you know.
And Ohtani is above all that.
Yeah, he's
Like
Ohtani.
like when you start saying like Babe Ruth, and I say it all the time, like he's Babe Ruth, and I say it to just to drill it into people's heads because there is no Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth was never coming around again. Babe Ruth is a folklore. He's never coming around again.
Right.
We have Babe Ruth here that we're watching. He's better.
We got it.
Better.
You and I were talking about this before we started recording. Like, you got to respect how good he is and what the generational talent he is. He's the way you're walking him with the bases loaded. That is Babe Ruth, Barry Bonds. Willie Mays there. Willie Mays territory too. This is the class that he's in of hitter we're talking about. These are generational players.
Yeah.
We're talking about. And listen, you're right about Babe Ruth almost being a fictional character, almost a folklore, right? Because it's so long and people haven't seen it, and it's not a lot of tape of it, right?
No,
so
he's like an American. He's like apple pie. He's like Babe Ruth. It's almost like a caricature.
And people will be like, "Oh, well, he didn't play with the league was smaller, and this was before integration and all that other stuff." Hey, I hear you, but the man was better than everybody else. Okay,
yeah.
That's all you. There's no. This is what we're talking about with these players, Bob. They are here, like they are on another level above everybody else. That's something different. And Ohtani's in that class, man. And now we're not even talking about the fact that he pitches. We're not even talking about this guy. This is the guy.
He got on base 9 times. Then he pitched the 6 innings the next night.
50-50 player. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah. It's out of control. Yeah, and they don't come around enough to change. Let's not change the rules, but let's not get into that. So, hey, listen, Dexter, as always, love it. Talking Knicks with you. I'm going to see you around the Garden this year because I'm going to be at a lot of those Knicks games. I'm going to see you around the Garden.
Well, I know. Well, you got the friend that's going to put you in the suites and stuff.
Yeah.
So I might see you.
Dexter Henry, catch him, WFAN, New York Post, all the digital content, straight out of Flushing. He's taking a couple off-season break from that, but
yeah, we're gonna do some off-season stuff starting this weekend. Though
I'm going to that Queens baseball conference. I'm excited for it. Got a VIP table and everything.
Love that every year.
I'm excited for it. Never been before. Yeah.
What's the date for that again this year?
It's like it's December 13th, I think.
That's a Saturday, right?
Oh, I don't know. I think so. I think so. I think it is.
I'm gonna try to pull up to that this year. I think I'm gonna try to go to that this year.
Definitely go. Yeah, you use your. I was gonna say I got an extra seat, but I'll use one of my friends. You get in there somewhere.
I'll be able to get some credentials. I'll be fine.
That's right. One day I'm gonna be able to say that. So there we go. Dexter Henry. Thanks, man. Love it. Always a great time talking to you. And people love it. They say we have great chemistry. So hey. We'll keep doing it.
We always have a great conversation.
Always.
Appreciate you. And I got to get you back on Straight Outta Flushing soon.
Yeah. Oh, God. Don't bring it. Not the Mets net. No, I'm not ready for it yet.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.